Hello everyone, Storm here, and today we are continuing another very special What If. This one is another collaboration between Diamond Legend and myself, and the first part should have already been uploaded on his channel, and if you have seen it, by this point you know what it is. What if future Trunks stayed in the past? And in this part 2 we will continue and end it. So you should definitely check out Diamond's first part over on his channel before you watch this, as I'm going to give a very, very brief recap, so you will miss out on pretty much every detail that there is. So, yeah, without further ado, be sure to watch part 1, subscribe to Diamond, join my Discord, and follow me on Twitter. All the links are in the description, and let's get right into this. So with the recap, after the androids are defeated, Bulma and Trunks evacuate everyone on Earth in their timeline to the main timeline, because they pretty much decided that their timeline is a wasteland. Trunks trains and helps boost several Z fighters, allowing Goten and the young Trunks to be more disciplined. Most of the Buu saga goes the same, with some key differences that I told you about, but in the end, Trunks and Gohan fuse with the Potara and defeat Buu. The Beerus saga also goes mostly the same, but once again, with a few key differences. Now, that was just a brief summary. There is way more to the story that Diamond covers in part 1, so once again, go check that out. And now we shall pick up where he left off. So after the Beerus thing, Vegeta trains with Whis for 6 months before Goku finds out, and continues to train for the next 4. In this case though, Trunks goes along with Goku, but he goes back to Earth after about a month or 2 to make sure Earth is protected. He wants to gain strength, but he wants to also make sure that Earth is 100% safe. But Frieza and his army return soon after. However, our group is far more prepared than the original, and here's why. Number 1, Krillin and Yamcha are still training, and thus they are far stronger, which means Yamcha joins the fight. You also have Gohan, who trained only enough to stay in shape as he felt guilty for not defeating Buu when he had the chance, compared to the Gohan who could barely go Super Saiyan originally. Due to this training with Gohan, Piccolo is also vastly more powerful, and we also have Trunks in the fight from the future, along with the more mature Goten and Trunks from this timeline. Because of all these things, the fight with the Frieza Force ends much sooner, with Gohan killing Tagoma himself. Frieza immediately goes for the Death Beam to kill Gohan, but it is reflected back at the Emperor, with him barely moving his head out of the way. It was reflected by a sword from a very familiar face. Frieza and Trunks stare each other down, too fondly remembering each other. Frieza laughs and says that now he can take revenge on both monkeys that embarrassed him, both him and Goku. He hops out of his pod and proceeds to take on Trunks in his base form, and actually outdoes him so much that Piccolo, Gohan, and Tenshinhan jump in to help, with Krillin, Yamcha, and Goten and Trunks fusing once more, just like in the Buu saga. Ultimately, with all of these fighters, Frieza is overwhelmed and transforms into his final stage without wasting any time. With this, Trunks tells everyone to stand back while he handles this, becoming a Super Saiyan 2. He and Frieza are now about even, with Trunks having an edge due to being a better fighter and a little bit stronger, so Frieza is barely blocking any of his attacks. Eventually, Frieza is angry and death beams Gohan when Trunks is attacking. This angers him, but he keeps his cool and reverts to his base form. He tells Frieza that he has secret power he didn't think he would have to use, but he supposes he will have to. He then powers up into the Super Saiyan God form. Everyone is shocked that he has the same godly power Goku has whenever he fought Beerus. Now, he wouldn't have Super Saiyan Blue because, as I said, he only spent a month or 2 with Whis, Goku, and Vegeta. And so I don't think he would get Blue, he would just have God, and that's also why his base form is so weak. But with this power, Trunks obliterates Frieza, but that's when Goku and Vegeta arrive, having sensed God Ki. Goku tells Trunks they'll take it from there, and the whole fight goes the same, until Frieza destroys Earth. This time, when he tries that, Trunks goes Super Saiyan 2 and jumps from behind, recreating Frieza's original death the exact same way, telling him not to come back this time. Goku thanks him, saying that he really saved them back there, and since his and Vegeta's next mission is to spend 3 years in the time chamber, he offers for Trunks to join them as well, and he obliges. Now, I know you might say only 2 people can be in the time chamber at once, but that is not true. the time chamber just has enough food for 2 people for 2 years. This allows Trunks to reach God Goku level in his base, which Goku and Vegeta have already surpassed, making him the weakest of the 3. So now we move on to the Universe 6 saga, where instead of Majin Buu, Future Trunks replaces him because Future Trunks is right there and he is a much better fighter than Buu. He's a lot stronger as well. So Goku still beats Botamo, but still gets knocked out by Frost, and Trunks has to step in rather than Piccolo, and he beats Frost. He then also beats Vegeta. Rather than calling him names like Vegeta did, he just strictly overpowers him. Then we get Kaba, and because Vegeta says that his and Kaba's base forms were on par, this means Trunks actually has to go Super Saiyan just to beat Kaba. And eventually he tells Kaba to go Super Saiyan, but he says that he doesn't know how, and he begs for him to teach him. Trunks doesn't do it the same way Vegeta did by threatening him. Instead, he does it the same way Future Gohan taught him. He tells Kaba to channel everything bad that has ever happened to him, or anything bad that could ever happen to him, and channel it into rage and become a Super Saiyan, just like his previous master had taught him before. And Kaba goes Super Saiyan, and Trunks is actually overpowering him because he has grade 4 and Kaba has just base Super Saiyan. But Trunks eventually goes Super Saiyan 2, telling Kaba that this is what he needs to aim for before knocking him out. Kaba, after getting knocked off, tells him that he will do his best, Master. And that's when Trunks says that he is no master. If you want a master, you should actually go to my father, Vegeta. And Vegeta is actually kind of intrigued with newer Saiyans, like from Universe 6, but he just plays it cool and scoffs and folds his arms like Vegeta usually does, pretending that he doesn't care. But Kaba thanks Trunks and tells Vegeta that he will do the best he can next time they fight. So moving on, Trunks takes on Hit, and I think during the 3 years of training, he was on the verge of Super Saiyan Blue. And he would be a lot weaker than Hit in Super Saiyan God, which would actually force him to go blue once. And I think he would do pretty good against Hit, but Hit is stronger, and plus he has the time skip, so he would be knocked out. And Vegeta actually has time to study Hit's moves this time, so whenever he gets up on the stage, he has the power on par with Hit. It's just Hit has to find the right hit to make at the right time. He just has to time it perfectly, which he eventually does, knocking Vegeta out, although he is tired from fighting 2 Super Saiyan Blues. Next, Goku jumps in, and whenever he sizes him up in his base form, it's not only to test his power, but also to let him get his stamina back up, since he has lost some from fighting 2 Super Saiyan Blues, but eventually Goku knocks him out the same way he did originally. So now we are moving on. So after the tournament, you get the Goku Black Saga, and that is going to mainly stay the same, with just 1 or 2 differences. The first difference is Trunks and Mai never meet or ever become a thing, because they don't have the interaction with each other because there is no rebellion against Goku Black. The next difference is that instead of Goku Black just immediately going to the future Trunks timeline and leading him to the main timeline, he actually has to use the time ring to traverse every timeline until he makes it to the main timeline, which might make him a little bit stronger, and he might show up a few days later than originally. But he'll still fight Goku, get sent back to the future timeline for some reason, and then they'll go investigate Zamasu, which will cause the entire thing to happen in the first place, and then they'll go to the future Trunks timeline using one of the time machines, and that will mainly go the same. Other than when Merge Zamasu happens and Vegito fights him, at the end of it, Trunks, instead of going Rage, he just rages out in his Super Saiyan Blue form and uses a sword to slice Zamasu up. So not much changes there. But next we have the Tournament of Power. First, the exhibition match. It's Goku, Gohan, and Trunks. They don't need to find Majin Buu because they already have a great ally right there, Trunks, and Vegeta doesn't want to miss Bulla's birth, so he does not fight. The 3 win as usual, and Gohan reveals that he's been doing training with Piccolo, Goten, and the young Trunks to be able to protect his family since the Golden Frieza saga. He did not want to lose to Frieza just shooting a random blast at him because he needed bait for Trunks that he didn't want to lose like that ever again. He realized that staying in shape is not enough. You need to gain more strength because your opponents are always gaining strength. So now, let's get into the tournament roster. Obviously, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Piccolo are in there. Future Trunks is as well, along with Android 17, whom 18 recommends, as she will not be participating. There are only 4 spots left, and they go to Krillin, Yamcha, Roshi, and Tenshinhan. Now I know people would think a more serious Goten and Trunks entering, or 18 teaming up with Krillin, would be a good idea. But my justification for this is 18 realizes that pretty much anything she can do, 17 or Krillin can do better. I mean, we see Krillin beating characters that 18 couldn't in the Tournament of Power. So, I mean, that would just make his Destructo Disc stronger than hers, and 17's Energy Barrier stronger than hers. She doesn't have anything new to offer to the table, really, other than some teamwork with Krillin, but Roshi, Yamcha, or Tenshinhan could do the exact same thing. And also, this Krillin is far stronger than the main Krillin because he has been training throughout every gap. So he is insanely powerful, along with Yamcha being insanely powerful. And they're far beyond Android 18 at this point. And 17 definitely has showed better feats than 18, so he scales above her. Although they are somewhat relative in some regard, I guess. As for Goten and Trunks, Goku explains that they'd like to have them on the team, but their family members who are fighting can pretty much do anything they can do better besides fusion. But if fusion is their only tactic, they're only going to be able to use that for 30 minutes at most, and this is a 48-minute tournament. So it's not really going to help. And Yamcha and Krillin are already stronger than Goten and Trunks in their base forms, so just give them fusion and boom. Like, they can hold their own in their base forms, but if they have to, they can fuse. Gotenks, they really can't hold their own in their base forms. They would have to go Super Saiyan or fuse in order to take on the strong opponents. All the techniques they can do, they don't offer anything new. Yamcha and Krillin do, the Spirit Ball, the Wolfang Fist, great teamwork. Krillin, Destructo Disc, Scatter Blast. Goten and Trunks, you have like the Kamehameha, you have like the Finish Buster, the stuff Trunks and Vegeta and Gohan can do. I mean, pretty much everybody knows the Kamehameha by this point. So them joining is kind of useless, in my opinion. Yamcha and Krillin, while fusion will put them at the strongest, they have techniques to offer outside of fusion. I think the Supreme Kai would also hand Trunks something, and with that, we are set for our tournament. Our roster is Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, Gohan, Piccolo, 17, Krillin, Yamcha, Roshi, and Tenshinhan. Everyone splits into groups of 2. These groups are pretty obvious. You get Krillin and Yamcha, you get Tenshinhan and Roshi, you get Piccolo and Gohan. Accidentally, you get Goku and Vegeta because they actually go off on their own, but they end up meeting to fight the Universe 9 anyway. You get Trunks and 17 very awkwardly. But you know what? They're strong. They're going to team up. They're going to work together. They're on the same side now. So Krillin and Yamcha beat all the same wolf characters that 18 and Krillin fought. And so when Frost sneaks up on Krillin, attempting to sneak attack him, Yamcha uses the Spirit Ball to hit him, and it knocks him back. So the two of them can team up on Frost, and without even using fusion, together they beat him. Now, Roshi, Mafuba's Ribrianne, since there is no Frost in this case, and that pretty much drains all of his power, so he forfeits. 17 and Trunks beat Ribrianne's crew, as usual, only this time it's Trunks and not 18, and everything plays out mostly the same until Kale and Caulifla versus Goku, the second match this time. So Trunks takes on Kale and Caulifla while Goku gets his stamina back. He's seeing that Goku needs a minute to rest, and he has always helped him in the past, quite literally in the past, so now it's his opportunity to help them. And since Trunks is actually weaker, he has to go Super Saiyan God right off the bat and overpower them, so then they fuse, Trunks to go blue, then they go Super Saiyan, and Trunks actually rages out because he thinks he's not going to be able to protect Goku, but he regains his composure and actually unlocks something like the perfected Super Saiyan Blue we see in the manga. So he's just pretty much completely calm, he's at one with himself, and it's a cool way to have him have his own route while Vegeta has evolution, Goku has Kaioken / Ultra Instinct, he gets perfected blue. And K-Flo immediately goes Super Saiyan 2 and just blasts Trunks with the same attack she did to Goku in Ultra Instinct, yelling that she is won. But he makes a giant key sword, since he can't use his actual sword in the tournament because it's a weapon. He just makes a giant key sword and actually pushes back K-Flo's blast, while she is actually pushing him back, but he is using it to block it. Then Goku goes Blue Kaioken and flies away, immediately getting her attention. She wants to take on Goku the entire time. And so when that happens, Trunks just pretty much plays dead and plays like he's been knocked off, but he actually rushes in from the side and hits her with the sword, knocking her off the ring. Then they both go into their base forms, both Trunks and Goku, and they continue on their journey. The gang beats Aniraza, like usual, but this time it's a few different characters, I guess. Krillin and Yamcha lose to Daemon and Janos, because originally, like, they would fuse against them, but originally Piccolo got sneak attacked by Daemon, and I think that would still happen to Krilcha in this case. So Vegeta takes on Toppo with Trunks, but still self-destructs after he gets Blue Evolution, because I don't think those two working together would do much. Now when it comes to Dispo, 17, Gohan, and Piccolo are all taking on Dispo, and while Gohan and 17 are actually taking him on because Gohan is a lot stronger in this timeline. Originally he was on par with like Super Saiyan 3 Goku whenever they were fighting. He was easily beating Super Saiyan 2 Goku for the most part, so we could say he's like Super Saiyan 3 level in the original. Here I think he's more so Super Saiyan God Goku from that fight. So it's a lot stronger than the main God Goku. Don't think I'm lowballing or anything. So yeah, Dispo is pretty much taken out when Piccolo just grabs him and just throws him out the end of the ring, while also jumping off himself just to make sure that he goes out. Now, Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, Gohan, and 17 all take on Jiren. So Vegeta is knocked out, and he gives his energy to Goku, who goes UI for the second time. Trunks and Gohan take on Jiren, and Trunks grabs something out of his pocket and throws it to Gohan, after 17 self-destructs. Gohan catches it, puts it on his ear, and the two fuse. Now, surely that wasn't a secret to any of you, I hope. So they fuse once more, becoming True Han, as this time Goku and Vegeta did not have the Tar earrings, so they did not break them like they did in the original. Instead, it was Trunks and Gohan, and they had to fight Kid Buu with them anyway, so there was no point in breaking them. And then True Han is barely holding his own, but Goku arrives, and they work together to beat Jiren, leaving 17 the victor. So now you move on to the Broly movie, and pretty much that's going to go the same. We would have Berry Blue instead of Frieza. She would want to revive the Frieza Empire, but knowing that last time it was pretty easy, she knows collecting the Dragon Balls won't be so easy, so she decides to find new recruits, and that's when Lemo and Chilai find Broly. They come to Earth, and pretty much only this time, because Berry Blue isn't Frieza, and she likely isn't strong enough, I would assume Paragus would actually live, so Broly never unlocks the Super Saiyan, and instead they just beat him, and they go off to the next planet, or they go off back to their planet, Vampa, although Goku does help them and actually tell Paragus that, hey, Vegeta isn't such a bad guy. You shouldn't hold anything his father did against him because he is a changed man. He's a family man. So, yeah, but that pretty much wraps up this What If. We can't really go into Moro yet because his arc is not finished, and I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to put together with Diamond Legend, and I couldn't have done it without him. He had a lot of good ideas later on, and so you should definitely go subscribe to him. And if you haven't already, I hope you have watched part 1. But as always, tell us if you like this series, comment your requests for future videos, and like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.